Hey guys, Julia Seals here with 212 Behavioral, DFW's Healthy Parenting Resource. And today we have a really special question because it actually comes directly from one of our parents. They wrote to us and they said, I would love to hear what 212 has to say about spanking as a form of discipline. Well, that's a bomb dropped of a question if I've ever heard one, because spanking as a form of discipline is one of those questions that people don't really feel safe asking out in public. So you did a great job, parent, in messaging us and allowing us to go over that within the context of a video so that multiple people can learn from it. So what we say about any discipline, we ask two questions. Is it loving and is it effective? So we believe that we have to look at each individual case and each individual child and each individual family and how those people parent and how the child learns. And those are really important because we don't want to keep disciplining in a way that's not effective. We see a lot of parents doing that. They're like, oh man, I do this, this, and this every time. Well, does it work? No, it doesn't work. Then why are we doing it? If we're spanking and it's not effective, why are we doing it? So we need to ask, is it loving? And I do believe there is a way to do spanking in a loving way. If we're talking about what happened beforehand, if we're giving multiple examples, if we are tender, if we're not doing it out of anger, and if we limit it to a specific age bracket. In that case, spanking can be loving, and it's only loving if it's effective for that child. Some children just don't respond well to it. There are certain scenarios where I would say spanking probably shouldn't be used as a form of discipline. That scenario where we really shouldn't use spanking as a discipline is whenever the child is being aggressive. Because if from a child's perspective, it can be really confusing to be spanked as discipline for aggression. So we're using aggression to correct aggression, and it could be difficult then to correct it because all we're doing is really reinforcing the behavior. Another scenario where I definitely wouldn't use it would be whenever the children get kind of age out of it, phase out of it. Personally, I think that over 8, we really should start questioning whether this is the best time to do that. And for you, your family, it might be sooner. I would really question whether we should be doing it later than that. And spanking really should be used as a kind of last form of discipline. We should be running through redirection as forms of correction, encouragement. We should be using privileges, opportunities to earn privileges, and some other things before we get to the spankings. For instance, I'm going to tell you a story. I was spanked twice in my life, and I deserved both those spankings. And one I'll tell you about is whenever me and my brother and my cousin decided it was a good idea to get a ride home from the circle part of where we lived with the ice cream man. So we're getting in this truck with a stranger, which we know is a violation of the rules, and it put us in danger so severe that was one of the only times I ever got a spanking. My brother, who's a chronic rule breaker, got spanked all the time, and it just wasn't effective for him, where for me it was effective in those scenarios. So that's what I would ask you guys to think through. Think through the age of the child. If they're too old, it's really not going to be effective. If they're too young and they really can't understand the reason why they're getting the spankings, it's not really effective. But we even need to be asking ourselves within that, is it a good answer to my child's problems? Is it effective? If they're being aggressive, I would steer away from spanking. You guys have a great day. Bye.